me start sharing my screen. Okay. Let me know once you can see my screen. You should be able to see the stock AT&T on screen. So I'm going to tell you a couple things. And one of the first things I'm going to say, the reason I got AT&T chart up here is because there's a lot of stocks that are moving like this right now in this market that we're in, okay? This market that we're in, when I say this market that we're in, this market we're in where we're waiting for some interest rate cuts, we're waiting for inflation to come down, we're waiting for Trump to stop announcing this and that, we're waiting for, I don't even know, we're waiting for a load of different things. You know, the 10-year treasury yield is pretty high right now, we need it to come down. Crypto isn't doing as great as it was 3 months ago, all this kind of stuff. So what I want to say is when you have stocks like, it can be anything, right? I'm gonna pull up a stock, for example. I'll pull up, let's see Apple, let's see what Apple's been doing, right? I'll go to the daily chart on Apple. Yeah, it's a good example. It's a good example. So look, this is what I'm saying, right? In this market that we're in. The market we're in is a bearish market, okay? Nevertheless, in February, Apple still had a strong run, right? Along with the Chinese stocks. End of February to March right now, terrible run. And the last few days is coming back a bit, right? So you're thinking, oh, you know, I'm a short Apple because the market is going down. Then Apple starts rallying. You're thinking, okay, Apple is one of the stocks that's not getting affected by the market. I'm going to get calls or, you know, it starts selling off. And it's, the reason I'm saying this is it is not that it's tough to swing in this market because it is doable, but it is definitely a market where you want to pick the stocks you're going to swing very wisely. So, for example, last week we talked about Shopify, right? Friday we talked about Shopify. Shopify was holding above the 200 moving average, right? It was already oversold. The moving averages were starting to curl to the upside. It was showing signs of strength. And obviously it jumped up, you know, Tuesday, Thursday, today. Obviously it's not always going to happen like that, but there are opportunities in the market, which is why I've shown you this, right? Robinhood. And I'm going to get to my point in a sec. Robinhood, similar chart. Sold off with the rest of the market, a month straight, fine. You see a dragonfly doji, okay, and you start to see stronger green candles, you start to see it start trending up. So from here, lows of 36, we reached 40, 43, you know, almost $44. That's an opportunity to swing calls. Obviously, it's not that easy because you're still bearish overall, you're still hanging below the moving averages on the daily chart. If you put up the weekly chart, you see just how bad, you know, it has been. And then, yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of recovery, right? So the reason I'm saying that is go with the trend. And when I say go with the trend, there are small trends in amongst the overall big trend. This here is an overall bearish trend. This here is a bullish trend amongst the bearish trend, right? And if Robinhood gets rejected here and sells off next week, I would not be surprised. It is still in an overall bearish trend, right? There's a reason that some people say short every pop in this kind of market. Every time you see some stocks moving, having a good day, I think Tesla's a good example. Yeah, it is, right? Every time you see this moving to the upside, some green candles moving, showing signs of strength, you know, a bit of better volume, it sells off again, pushes up, sells off again. That's what I'm saying when they say short every pop. And, you know, I'm talking about Tesla right now. One thing you want to do with stocks like Tesla and also other stocks is look at the news, right? We all know by now, and if you don't, you should know by now, that Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, is extremely involved in politics right now, right? One thing that you never want to do is cause your shareholders to be concerned about you being involved or you not being fully committed and focused on the company, right? We've had times where Elon Musk has seemed like he's focused on acquiring Twitter, on tweeting, other times where he's focused on Doge, other times where he's, you know, not fully invested in Neuralink or SpaceX or Tesla. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. When that does happen, well, yeah, this is what's going to happen to your overall stock price, right? It is going to sell off almost 50% from the highs just after the election, right? Or from the highs in December. We were at all-time highs in December. We're now down about 50%, back at levels from, yeah, just before the election, so November, right? So the reason I'm saying this is Tesla might have a good couple days here or there, but the overall trend is still very bearish. And again, how do I know this? Yes, the chart is showing me this. But again, every other day, the news we're hearing about Elon is not related to Tesla. It's not related to FSD. It's not related to the technology around Tesla or anything in regards to what this company holds, what this company is about. It's all in regards to politics, in regards to what Donald Trump might say, so in regards to stuff which is not irrelevant to the stock. And the reason that is important is because again, shareholders want you to be fully invested, in your company. If you look at Nvidia, right? Nvidia has also sold off recently, but obviously not as bad as Tesla. The CEO Jensen Huang is like almost the opposite of Elon Musk, right? He's fully involved in the company. He's fully focused on helping this company become the best in the world. He's fully focused on innovating, making sure this company can succeed long term. Yes, it has sold off from $150 to 118, but it has not sold off to $80 to $70 to those kind of levels, right? So even in the overall bearish market, Nvidia is still holding up. Why? Again, you have a CEO who's fully invested in the company. Palantir, right? Another example. Yes, Palantir sold off heavily, but Alex Karp, fully involved in the company. I mean, you see the bounce on the level of support as well, but you see the CEO fully involved in the company. So when people say, oh, Palantir back to 50, 40, it doesn't really work like that, right? It's still holding up in a market where everything is very bearish. If you scroll out 3 months for Palantir, you realize, oh, wait, we're still actually above where we were 3 months ago. If you scroll out 3 months ago for Tesla, it's a very different situation. So it's just one thing to look at the charts, look at TradingView, look at what's happening in and around your candlesticks, your daily patterns, all that kind of stuff. But it's another to also do your own research in the background to find out news. Go on Yahoo Finance, go on CNBC, go on Market Watch, go on whichever website. Just do a little bit of company research. Trust me, it helps. Intel. I'm talking about INTC. Intel. Right? So last week we talked about it in our last session. Thursday was the last time I did the session. Thursday was the announcement Wednesday was the announcement that the CEO was going to be stepping in the 18th of March, so this Tuesday. Intel jumped up. And what did we say? Well, Intel might jump up again. And I said, this is one of those where you buy the rumor, sell the news, right? There's a lot of hype before a CEO steps in the company. There's a lot of positivity, optimism. Yeah, it jumped all the way to 26.34, right? Maybe there's a level of resistance right here. I'll just mark that actually, something to look at. But the reason I'm putting this on your radar, the setup was not bullish. The moving average has only just crossed to the upside a few days ago. The setup was not bullish. But when you hear news of a CEO, entering a company and there's a lot of positive sentiment around it, yes, it is going to run. If they say he's stepping in on Tuesday, March 18, well, expect it to at least get some solid price action to the upside until Tuesday, March 18th. Now, I'm not saying it was obvious it was going to fall, but what usually happens is, again, buy the rumor, sell the news. Oh, the new CEO is coming, new CEO is on the way, blah, blah, bullish. Okay, he stepped into office. All right, so sell off. Let me cover my position. Let me sell my shares. Let me, get out of this play. Again, it's not always obvious. It's not always like, oh, we should have got calls until here and then puts here. Obviously, this is hindsight. But I'm saying, when you do your research, you look at news, you're in and around the markets, you're active on social media or wherever, you have these opportunities at your fingertips. You might not realize it, but you have these opportunities at your fingertips, right? Now, if we go back to just talking about TradingView and we talk about technical analysis, right? There's a lot of great setups out there right now, right? There's a lot of them. If I pick up, I'm gonna go to Roblox, okay? Right? Roblox got all sorts of patterns, right? Hammer candles, inverted hammer candles. It's got doji. It's got, finally closed above the moving average. Roblox looks like it bounced on the moving average. Roblox looks like a potentially good opportunity, right? If we close tomorrow above like 58, 59, which I could fully see us doing, you start to look at Roblox calls, right? If I pull up Costco, would you look at calls or puts on this? Obviously puts. Moving averages crossed to the downside. It sold off. It started to recover a little bit, but all right, it consolidated at 200 moving average, and it's still looking like it's going to continue moving on lower, right? The reason I'm showing you this chart is because you can recognize a clear pattern, right? You can recognize that this is bearish chart. It's sort of $200 or 170, $180 from, the highs back in February. If you look at SPY from today, SPY chart, 5-minute chart, intraday, right? You will see, oh wait, this is a similar pattern to what Costco has been doing, right? Sold off from the highs, 570, came down, broke below level of support, came up, tested the moving average, sold off, wicked off the moving average several times, sold off, and then at the end of the day, you saw a hammer candle, and then, more bullish momentum going up. But again, once you see this break and start selling off, and you see a slice through support, you can get into the puts, especially if it's called out by one of the admins, especially if it's called out by someone in the chat who has credibility, right? There's no reason that you shouldn't be on the end of, a good 20, 30, 40% gain here. There's no reason you shouldn't be on the end of that, especially if you are getting the call out I think the call out was, let me see, let me check the chat when the call out was. The call out was at, oh wow, the call out was early actually. So the call out was, okay, around here. Call out was around here, 568. I didn't get until it sliced below my level of support. But either way, my point is, from here, 569 to 563, you had so much time to get in the puts. So when someone turns around and says, oh, I couldn't make any money today, I didn't get any profits today, you got to look at yourself. Do you know what you're doing when you look at a chart? If you see this chart and every single candle, is, well, not every single candle, but majority of the candles are red, and majority of the candles, there's a lot more selling pressure, you should know where it's going. If the moving averages start crossing to the downside, you should know where it's going. If we slide through a level of support, and if you don't have a level of support, you should have a level of support. If we slide through a level of support, you should know where it's going. If it gets rejected by the moving averages, sells off again. If every pop is getting shorted, you should know where it's going. There's so many factors here, you should know where it's going. Like I said, I'm going to tell you again. You get the alert in the chat. That's one indication. You see the moving average is crossing to the downside. Death cross. That's two indications. You see every pop is getting shorted. 3 indication. You see every time you hit the moving average, we sell off again. 4 different indications there. We slice through a level of support. 5 different indications. You need to be able to be confident and take the trade, right? Take the trade. It's clearly there. There shouldn't be a single person say, oh, I didn't do this or did that. There's no excuses really. I want to pull up the crypto chart because here we go. MSTR, right? So the reason I'm pulling this one up for you is because it's got great price action and intraday price action. So here's 15 minutes. Here's a 15-minute chart. All right. Yesterday, you could take calls for a day trade. Day before that, you could take the calls or the puts. Day before that, you could take the puts or the calls. The reason I'm showing you MSTR chart is because if you are a day trader and you're looking for opportunities, don't pretend there are no opportunities. This is the 15-minute chart. If I go to the 5-minute chart, it shows it even more. Short opportunity. Cross to the downside. This is actually interesting. Anyway, yeah, short opportunity, cross the downside. Here, you've got those call opportunities, cross the upside, hammer candles. There's a lot of different buying and selling opportunities with a stock like MSTR in this day and age. So if you don't know about MSTR, it's called MicroStrategy. This is a company that holds Bitcoin. So it's a crypto company. So if Bitcoin is dropping, MSTR is probably going to drop, right? Just Bitcoin here, right? If Bitcoin rising, MSTR is probably going to rise. Let me reset that. Okay, there we go. It's a 5-minute chart for Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin, it's at 84K right now. If tomorrow we're at 82K, guess what? MSTR will be down. That's the answer, okay? Again, the reason you know that is from spending time in the market, spending time looking at different stocks, spending time doing research, spending time actually listening and taking in what I'm saying in these kind of sessions. And again, it's going to help you when it comes to the overall long-term investing, long term, trading, whatever you're doing in the markets long term, it's going to help you. If you know when to see a good opportunity, if you know which stocks are correlating with which other stocks, which sectors, all that kind of stuff, it's going to help you. If I talk about the energy sector, like we're moving on from crypto now, if I talk about the energy sector, right? Look at the 4 hour chart of XLE. This is very clear, right? 5 days straight of bullish momentum, 5 days straight of green price action. The daily chart. There you go. We've got nice price action to the upside. This is beautiful, right? There shouldn't be a time where you're thinking, oh, what do I trade? What do I look at different sectors? Go and find, stocks from these sectors. This is XLE, energy sector, right? So we know about ExxonMobil, right? Great chart from the last 4 or 5 days, right? We know about CVX. Chart is not as strong, but it's still a good chart. In fact, actually, funny enough, see, it's slightly even yeah, look, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the last 7 candles are green days, right? CVX actually, it's actually seven. It's actually, sorry, 6 green days in a row, and then a 7 red candle. But yeah, CVX, you can see how it's pushing. Oxy, which we traded, swing traded, right? Now this chart is not as nice, but again, you see how it's starting to push above the moving average. We're starting to get bullish momentum. We're starting to see price action in our favor to the upside. If you know that tech sector is down, banks are down, healthcare is down, but oil energy is up, and you want to trade calls, you're biased towards calls, go to the energy sector and go and trade a OXY, go trade an MRO, go trade an ExxonMobil, go trade. Where's Marathon Oil? Here we go. This is the one. Thank you. Oh, I don't know why it's not putting up. Either way, MRO. But yeah, go trade these kind of stocks instead of just trying to wait for the tech sector to bounce back, or wait for whichever sector to come back to life, or whichever sector you want to get calls on. Instead of waiting for that, go to a sector that you know is bullish. Go to a section where there's a lot of call flow. Go to a section where a sector where okay, the stocks here are most likely going to go up and continue in the trend than go down. All right. Any questions? You can type in the chat if you don't want to unmute, or I can continue. Wait, I can't really hear it well. If someone can hear it, then yeah, a bit, yeah, yeah. All right, I'll wait. Say that again. Yeah, a little bit. Yes. Maybe it's my sound. I'll check. I don't know if anyone else in the chat or the lounge can hear. I'll check. Oh, okay, okay, okay. It's not my thing. Okay, thank you. You want to know how to set it up, right? On Robinhood or TradingView? Okay, that I don't know about. Um, I can look into for you if no one. I'll ask the chat, and if anybody knows, then yeah. Otherwise, I can look into it. I don't really. I think there's somebody that uses Robinhood charts. I'm gonna find his name now. Um, yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. There's another guy. I just tagged him. There's another guy. I just tagged him, and yeah, he will help us. But yeah, thank you for asking that, though. Yeah. So that's what I was saying, right? It's a lot of different stocks that are suffering right now. It's a lot of different sectors that are suffering right now, right? If you look at the like Chinese sector is doing fine, right? If you look at JD, just doing okay compared to where it was a month ago. It's doing fine. Baidu, it's doing all right. It suffered the last 3 days, but before that, it was doing okay, right? So my point here is, you want to identify an overall trend, right? For example, target stock. This should be obvious where this is going, right? Nobody should be saying, "Oh, I'm getting target calls," when its stock is dying. It's just getting destroyed, right? This is clearly put. It might bottom out here, right? There's a little bit of consolidation happening. But if we really zoom out, you got their head and shoulders as well. If we really zoom out and scroll left, it can still go lower. That's my point, right? It's only what 6 months. Oh no, this is 2023. It's a year ago it was at 97, 98. So it can still go there, right? It can still go there. There's no way that you see Target at where we are today, 104, and say, "Oh yeah, it's time for calls." No way. And either way, as you guys know, the cheap can always get cheaper, right? You can still sell off, right? Another thing to note is when it does finally start pushing, you're not too late. It's got gap to fill. It's got plenty. It's got a couple gaps to fill. It's got plenty of upside. There's nothing better in this market right now than patience, right? Nothing better than patience in this market right now. So for the small account challenge, let me talk about Celsius, right? We talked about Oxy. We talked about a couple of the what do you call them? The indexes. Let's talk about Celsius, right? So Celsius announced earnings last month. Gapped up, great. Sold off because people are going to take profit. People are going to cover the position, and again, the overall market is still bearish. That's fine. We held above the moving averages, right? Gravestone Doji sold off a little bit. I mean, hold on. If you look at, I'm going to draw something for us now, right? I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to just go all the way across. Okay. I'm going to do it like this, okay? And this is my, it depends how you trade. This could be, the zone could be too big, it could be too small, it could be shifted to left or right, whatever, right? So the reason I've drawn this is we have the bottom of the zone here, right? The bottom of the zone here, bottom of the zone here. We're here, we bounced. Here we came towards the bottom of the zone, came back out, fell back into the zone, dropped below it, finally got some momentum. Obviously earnings happened, came straight back into the zone, held this level of around $26, consolidated for a few days, and started to see signs of strength, right? Now, we got a long wick out the zone, pulled back a little bit, and flew. So why did I take this trade? What did I do that's so magical, blah, blah? No, nothing really, right? When you just identify that something was so overbought that it came down and people started to buy it up, a long wick, so people tried to push it up, it ended up closing low, Gravestone Doji, and it came down again. I knew, hey, this could be a nice opportunity for us to take longs, right? For us to get into a call position, right? The way that this pattern just, the way that these candlesticks just fell into a nice pattern, fell into a nice shape, it's like, all right, be prepared for this to start getting some traction, getting some volume, and yeah, start seeing some bullish momentum, right? So what I'm trying to tell you here is where the moving averages crossed over, right? When there was earnings. Here, they came close together, they didn't cross, they diverged again and started showing signs of strength. That's just from the EMAs, right? The price action in regards to moving averages. Way overbought. Came down, consolidated, pushed up, came down again to test the moving average, shot out. Shot out the gate, shot out the box, shot out the zone, whatever you want to call it, right? The 4 hour shows the same thing, right? Came down, price action in and around the bottom of the zone, came up, came down again, held the moving averages on the 4 hour chart, held all three moving averages, slowly started building up. I said, let me just take the opportunity, take the chance to get the calls. I'll be honest, I expected to come to this zone and come back down. It actually flew out the zone, even better for us. So yeah, when you put in $85, $90, it's going to turn to 200, 300 real quick because it shot up so quickly. But again, doesn't mean that it won't come back down into the zone again, in a few days. It might do. So the reason I say that the reason why I'm mentioning that is because if you zoom out a bit, right, you'll see that Celsius has had some good days, right? October, some great days, right? But the funny thing is, it can still keep coming down before it goes higher. I do think 6 months, 9 months, 12 months down the line, this is going to be a $40 stock, $45 stock. We're going to get back up to the 50s. So if you want to get shares, you can do that too. If you want to get leaps, which are pretty cheap for September, October, or well, I'd say November, December, further out, like actual leaps, probably 2026. It wouldn't be a bad idea to look at them. Every time I do the live stream or whatever, we talk about Celsius, and every time the same thing kind of happens, a few days later or a few weeks later. So Celsius again, for longer term, it's definitely one to look at, one to eye up. And now I want to talk about QQQ and SPY. Same thing pretty much yesterday, today. Actually, I'm gonna go to SPY. So yesterday, right? Why did SPY go so crazy? Well, first of all, we had a nice little setup here. What I will say is this was pretty much fueled by FOMC, right? The federal minutes from yesterday. So one thing to know about FOMC, and if you've been with us at least 3-4 months now, you would have seen a couple FOMCs. You would have seen how the market can slice. Jerome Powell can slice you up, or you can take your portfolio higher. All right. Yesterday, I did a poll in the Princess Callouts, and I said, "Is it going up or down?" I voted up. I think a few people voted down, but majority of us voted up, and it went up. Now, again, this is when news comes into it, right? Your Yahoo Finance, your Bloomberg, CNBC, Market Watch, all that kind of stuff, right? We are in an economy where there is tariff uncertainty, where there are a lot of sectors which are getting killed. There are a lot. Hold on, crazy dog right here. Give me 1 sec. Down. All right. So we're in an economy where all that uncertainty does cause the markets to drop off, sell off, right? Constantly, which you guys have seen from the highs, the tops at whatever we were on with SPY, probably like what? Let me see. Where were we? From the highs of 612, right, to the lows of 550 last week, right? You've seen the market sell off, top out, right? As I mentioned earlier, the 10-year Treasury yield, right, is pretty high right now. You're probably thinking Trump is going to try and bring that down, in the next couple years. His last term, it was a lot lower than it is right now. Either way, what that means, don't want to get too complicated, but what that means is when interest rates are low, it means people can borrow money easier. Loans will be given out. People will be able to get that money, spend that money, circulate back into the economy. Mortgage rates will go down from where they are right now at 6.8% or whatever to, the threes again, the fours again, those kind of levels, right? It will mean that you don't go to your local Costco or Target or Walmart and have to pay $10 for a dozen eggs, all that kind of stuff. All that happens is when the economy, oh sorry, when inflation is lower, the economy flows a little bit better. People spend more money. There's less uncertainty. There's more hype. There's more money that goes into the markets. There's more money to be spent. It just helps the economy overall. So, from Jerome Powell speaking yesterday, this is what I'm trying to get at. He pretty much said our aim is still to bring inflation down. We don't believe that tariffs and all that kind of stuff will have any negative or too much of a negative impact on our interest rates, on inflation, all that kind of stuff right now. We're still looking to bring the rates down by another percent at least, by the end of next year. That is good news. That is what we want to hear. That's what the markets want to hear. And so we got some hype, some short-term hype, and that's why SPY ran from 562 to 570, right? If you are a more of a technical trader, right? I do a lot of news analysts, I'm me. If you're a technical trader, you might see, hey, and you use EMAs, you might say, oh, price bounced on, the level of support last week. We got some more strength. We got a pop, or we pushed up to the moving average, and we're trying to trade close to the moving average. That might be how you see it, right? But for me, how I see it is positive news or less negative news from the Federal Reserve caused the markets to rally yesterday, right? Now, that doesn't mean that the market's going to be green every single day now for the rest of the month. No. But what it does mean is on days like that, when there is strength, when the markets are pushing, when you see bullish momentum, you can take advantage of it, right? You can take advantage of it and you can trade calls. You don't have to get in at the bottom, right? But when it pulls back and you're hearing, because this is why we stream the FOMC live, you're hearing good news, you're seeing everyone getting the calls. I'm saying 565 calls. This is why there is strength in the markets. There is potential for the markets to push. And then, of course, you guys know whether we're trading 0 DTE, 1 DTE, 2 DTE. When you're up 40, 50, 60, 70, 100%, 200%, 300% within half an hour, within an hour, you must be taking profit. It is not that difficult. It is not, I want more, I want more, I want more. It is, I've got an extra $100 in my portfolio. I've got an extra $300 in my portfolio. I'm going to take that money and I'm going to leave. That is what it is. So for those of you who are newer traders and you have not traded FOMC before, or you've only traded a couple FOMCs, understand that when they're talking, anything can happen. Yesterday it ran up. Another day it can slice. Another day it can, go up, then down. It just depends. But you all know that the indexes, SPY, IWM, QQQ, this can happen very easily, right? This can happen very easily. So I want to go back to NVIDIA for a sec. Couple reasons, right? So I'm waiting for NVIDIA to break above these moving averages, right? And I'll look at calls. I look at long-term calls because I feel like NVIDIA is a great company, it's a solid company. It's a company where even when the markets are doing real bad, NVIDIA it does bad, but it doesn't do as bad as some of the other stocks which get slaughtered, right? Like I said earlier, like a Tesla. So again, watch for NVIDIA to break above that 121 price point, and I think we'll run to 128, 134 within the next couple of weeks if it does break above. I just wanted to put that on your radar for you guys. I want to pull up Roku as well, right? Similar story. Push up to 75, maybe above, and start looking at us to go to 79. Start looking at us to go higher and higher and higher. Those are just two stocks I wanted to put on your radar. Any questions? I've got about 8 more minutes and I have to go to a chiropractor. So please let me know if you've got questions. Let me know if there's a stock you want me to look at. Let me know if you've done research or you've heard about a stock here or there. Let me know about all that kind of stuff. Bearish, down. I think we go down. I think we go lower, right? Let's get the SPX, right? We topped out, as I said, February. Sold off heavily. We come back up a little bit because we have to. We can still go lower. We can still go down to the depths from September. We can still keep dropping. Any other questions? The what? Was that a question or was you just accidentally unmuted? Oh, Yeah. Netflix is nice right now, hanging above the moving averages. We've seen some strength in the last 8 days. You know, it's jumped up $90. So yeah, good. This is a good one to take calls in. You know, it's a good look. Where do you find Netflix? Okay, yeah. Let's look at the weekly chart. Okay, yeah, it's actually a nice weekly chart. Yeah, look at Netflix course. It's a nice weekly chart. Any other questions? Can you pull up Z? Let's see. This is looking bearish to me. It's a low, it's a low, it's a low. Look at it. This is a nice level right here, right? This is a nice level. Above the body, for the reversal, wicked off that level. This is a nice level. We go down here, we slice to 56, 57 maybe. We hold here, we push back up to $80. Nice one, nice one, nice one. More of them, more stocks, more stocks, more stocks. Throw them at me. I don't care if it's AMDL, if it's ACHR, if it's AMD, RGTI. Here we go with the quantums again. Rigetti, all right? Oh, it looks okay. Yeah. It's had a rough week. It's getting beat up. Getting beat up. I wouldn't touch this right now, me. If I pull the zone across, maybe there's something to look at. Maybe if I move it a little bit higher, there might be something to look at. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Good luck though. Down 10% today. If you got on the puts, nice one. Yeah. Wait for that break above the moving average. Wheelie chart. Yeah, you want to wait for it. You want to wait for that. Getting beat up along with the other Magnificent Seven. For those who don't know, Magnificent Seven is Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. What did I miss? Meta. So yeah, Microsoft getting beat up. A bit of consolidation along the moving average though on the daily chart. Weekly chart is still oversold, bearish. 4 hour chart consolidation. It might be making a move higher just to go lower. But I wouldn't say, I mean, you never know. I wouldn't say the reversal is really here yet. You know, I've seen this before, right? We did this back in February, pushed to just come lower. So I wouldn't say the full reversal is here yet. You said riot. What kind of zones are we looking at? Yeah, right. It's going to be down with the cryptos. Yeah. Any others? Joby, that sounds quite janky. Let's see. Yeah, it is. $6 sort of from it's been down 50%. Look like it's getting slaughtered. Yeah, that's not for me. Applied materials. Here we go. AMAT. You thinking bearish, bullish? This look bearish to me. Along with the, yeah, yeah, it looked bearish to me. Weekly, yeah, yeah. Nice wicked off the moving average though, but look. RUM Rumble, you think it bearish, bullish? Bearish to me. Just looks disgusting. Yeah, this looks bad. Consolidation before it goes lower for me. Bearish, bearish, bearish. Baba, we already looked at. Alta, Alta Beauty, bearish as well. Just she said booty, dead. I think this is more bullish, right? Yeah, bullish, bullish, bullish. We're gonna break above the moving average. We're gonna show some strength. I like this. I like this more. VST. Yep. This and LLY are the same. Vistra. It looks good. What about Visa? Looks good. But it could again. These could all just be people pulling the stock up before it goes further down. Market is overall bearish, overall getting clapped, getting whacked, and yeah, I think it's got some good setups, but again, I think markets are just getting destroyed right now. So yeah, Baidu. I already looked at Baidu as well. So it had a good few days, and then it started to come back down. All right. If there's any other stocks you want me to look at, just drop them in the trading discussions chat, and I'll look at them when I get a chance this evening. But that is it from me, guys. I'm using the EMAs, the 9, the 21, and the 200. I'll also drop it in the chat so you guys can see what that is. But it is one indicator which is called the multiple EMAs, so you can get that on TradingView. But yeah, hopefully if you guys enjoyed this, just drop it in the chat, drop a thank you and all that kind of stuff. And when I upload this to YouTube, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. All these sessions are uploaded and they're on YouTube. So yeah, thank you guys. I'll see you in the chat. Peace.